Spellcasters has some insane potential right now. Obviously, this is one of the most popular typings in the game's history. Clearly, we can tie this all the way back to the DM era with the classic Dark Magician. However, in today's video, we're going to discuss the current state of Spellcasters, essentially an everything you need to know guide, and why honestly, I think there is some insane potential to be had in the future with this typing, whether it be through the form of the Magistus cards, the Dogmatica cards, or even spell books. I think Spellcasters are on their way to becoming meta once again. But before we begin, if you like what you see, make sure to like and subscribe, and make sure to turn on that notification bell to stay up to date for future videos. Make sure to also join my Discord server, link is in the description. But with that, let's begin. So to start off, I think one of the most important things to discuss is actually the Magistus archetype, because Magistus is a weird kind of spellcaster archetype that essentially uses the power of level 4 spellcasters to their advantage, and they utilize the ability to equip spellcasters from the extra deck to their monsters. Quite a unique mechanic, to be honest. They, however, got a new card in the extra deck to start utilizing that's coming out in Lightning Overdrive. This card is called Rilliona the Magistus Glass Witch. It is a light spellcaster Xyz monster that is a rank 4 with 1000 attack, 2800 defense. It requires 2 level 4 spellcasters with different attributes, and it has the following effect. You can only use this card's name's first and second effects once per turn each. First, you can detach 1 material from this card, special summon 1 Magistus monster from your deck. Also, you cannot special summon monsters from the extra deck for the rest of this turn except Magistus monsters. And second, while this card is equipped to a monster, you can target 1 effect monster your opponent controls, negate its effects until the end of this turn. So this card's really strong for the archetype, not only with that effect negation, granted it kind of sucks that, it's not a quick effect. But the point being that this gal can special summon any Magistus monster from the deck, either getting you access to Rilliona to be able to access your fusion spells, or whatever other power play you can think of. Generally speaking, while this card does lock you to Magistus extra deck monsters, this card becomes quite a nice addition to the extra deck for Magistus. But the general point I wanted to bring up by mentioning this card is that the fact that this requires 2 level 4 spellcasters in specific makes it quite fascinating to see where this could be explored in the future. I don't think this card alone makes spellcasters broken by any means, but this is the card that got me thinking about spellcasters in a much wider vacuum of cards. And because of that, I want to talk about some of the great engines that are spellcasters as of right now. One of them is the Dogmatica Engine, and clearly there is no introduction needed. Dogmatica is one of the most popular archetypes in the game right now, as the engine with Nadir Servant is so splashable, and because of that, Dogmatica is a staple for the foreseeable future. But because of this, it also brings into question if there is a spellcaster deck in the future that can abuse Dogmatica in a different light. Maybe the spellcaster typing makes it that much better. Next, let's discuss Alistar. Alistar is probably the most powerful spellcaster normal summon in the game right now, 4 years strong. I know there's a ton of memes on Alistar, but the point being, Alistar is incredibly strong for a reason, and the Link 1 Artemis of the Magistus archetype makes Alistar that much better and ties greatly into what our goals are going to become. See, there's a spellbook Link 2 that I do want to talk about, because I think this Link 2 is one of the most untapped Link monsters in the game currently. Its ability to get you access to any spellbook card is insane, and I'm going to discuss this more in 1 second, but first, a quick plug about my affiliate TCG Player. If you want to buy any of the hottest cards on the market, any archetype, anything along the lines of TCG, make sure to go to tcgplayer.com and use my affiliate link when doing so in order to help support me in the process of you purchasing whatever card you may like. Thank you so much, TCG Player, for affiliating with my channel, and with that, let's continue. So yeah, this spellbook Link 2 is insane, and yes, there is the restriction that you have to reveal 3 with different names, and you only get to add 1 of them to your hand, so this is kind of a random search, but the spellbook engine is so strong because there's so much utility with this. See, you can search a blue boy, a spellbook of secrets, and any spellbook card you need, and this means if you haven't used your normal summon yet, every time you get a search off the spellbook link 2, you're getting exactly what you want. And like I said, there are a ton of powerful spellbook cards in the game. Sure, Judgment is banned, but that doesn't mean you can't search a spellbook of Fate to be able to non-target banish a card on the field as disruption. You can search spellbook of Knowledge to draw 2. And this engine as a whole has been utilized in a multitude of different decks, but most specifically the Endemion deck. So this is another spellcaster archetype that you may commonly associate as the best pendulum deck right now, which pendulum best deck. But the thing is, right, Endemion is a really strong spellcaster archetype. Your boss monsters are just so powerful, and the spellbook link 2 synergizes very well with the Endemion archetype because Crowley gets you a search for a draw 2 spell. And what do you want in Endemion? More spells for your spell counter. So there's some insane synergy here, especially because you don't need your normal summon. So yeah, generally I think the spellbook link 2, aka Crowley, has some really good untapped potential. There is some potential here for some powerful plays moving forward. Like I'm just saying, the Artemis Link 1 opens a lot of different plays, and it makes this Crowley Link 2 that much better. For example, if you normal summon a Perform Age Trick Clown, that's a 1-card Link 2 because of the Artemis Link, and that can actually get you access to Crowley, which I mean, again, is really strong. Next, let's talk about Shaddoll, because I do think Shaddoll is the archetype that really exemplifies what spellcasters are right now. Because they have a card like Shaddoll Schism, which essentially means if you get access to a construct, you can link that into a Gravity Controller. Gravity Controller gets you back Schism, and Schism essentially is a 1-card fusion summon every single turn. So essentially, Schism is just an insane card. Coming soon, I'm gonna have a video discussing just insane cards in different archetypes, whether the archetype is good like Shaddoll or bad like Ancient Warrior. There have been some insane cards printed for different archetypes in recent memory, so I'm gonna have a video coming out soon about that. But in regards to Shaddoll, Schism is an insane card, which gets you access to Window, which is an insane floodgate boss monster. And so yeah, Shaddolls are honestly not a bad pick in the metagame right now. Combine that with Dogmatica, which already has great synergy with Shaddoll because of the extra deck card known as Apcolone, and you're basically creating a force to be reckoned with. It's funny too that all of these archetypes synergize so well with each other, but they're all just naturally spellcasters as well. There's so many different mechanics that intertwine with one another, and I think spellcasters are, even without future support, in a really good position in the metagame right now as a whole because of Shaddoll and Dogmatica. And again, there are so many other cards I could have talked about in this video. For example, the Witchcrafter hand trap is a really strong hand trap depending on your deck. And we also can't forget to mention Perform Mages. Perform Mages is a very powerful spellcaster engine that could see use in the future depending on what deck you're playing. It also has a ton of synergy with Shaddoll and all of that stuff. The Perform Mages just got even better with Artemis. So yeah, I've been rambling on, but I just wanted to take today's video to discuss spellcasters because I think they're generally in a really awesome spot right now, and generally deck building with these cards are so much fun. If you want to see me discuss the 60 card pile deck that has come into the metagame as of recent, make sure to watch the video on the end screen in front of you, and with that, I hope to see you soon.